It's February 7th, and indeed, as promised, a legendary battle materialized at the World Cyclocross Championships last weekend. Though not exactly the one I had been anticipating, it was still pretty good. But now the big question on everyone's lips is it road season yet? Meh. As much as that's a running gag, it's not really a joke. The same cannot be said, however, for this cycling news piece on the GP Costa degli Astrucci. I mean, first it's just wrong. The lead selection came together after the climb, not before it, and it didn't just form. Formolo attacked, Rabatini held on, and the others bridged up. Then there's the whole, despite the number of teams looking to open their season with a win, I'm sorry, were there an inordinately large number of teams at this race? Are they somehow less eager to win races through the rest of the season? I don't understand. I do understand that having 3 riders in a final selection of 5 is almost certainly no way to dispel the bone-deep doping uncertainties surrounding your team, but I don't even want to start kicking that anthill right now. Anyway, that half-assed article shows that no one is really interested in covering races with any... Wait a minute. Dubai. So, you guys think there might be a race in Dubai this week? Oh wow, check out this sweet overproduced promotional video. Wait a minute, is that a... Yep. Nothing says echelons across 4 lanes of pancake flat desert like a compact crankset. I wonder how this Dubai tour became such a big deal. What's that? It's produced in conjunction with RCS, the Giro organization? Oh, well, nothing untoward in this relationship because we all know what unscrupulous accountants those guys are. Did I say unscrupulous? I meant scrupulous. Like the good one. I'm sure the Rolls Royces and bombastic over-the-top opening ceremony are just reflective of the locals' enthusiasm for the event. Look at those crowds. I mean, Taylor Phinney won the opening time trial, and then his director Max Schiandri said that it proves Taylor can win big races. QED, the Dubai Tour is a big race. I don't know what Fabian Cancellara is doing shrugging this off. What big races has he ever won? Anyway, in addition to Dubai, there's also the Herald Sun Tour, where Jack Bauer won the opening prologue in a regular helmet, which is a very good thing because I don't think I could stand to see these god-awful things blabbed about as much as Stibar's Aerolid was after Worlds. Though it is cool to see the cycling world taking fashion cues from Tom Brown. Or Mel Brooks. So anyway, that's about it for this week. I mean, wait, what? There's another race? Seriously? So... Okay, when BMC hired Sammy Sanchez earlier this week, they didn't just hand him out the window of the team car to Daniel Oss and say, here, fit this in your jersey somewhere. They had room on the roster because they had already dropped the boom on Ballin. This freed up money, resources, a seat on the team bus. The racing schedule should kind of be the same way. But since people insist on having races, and since the people who get paid to do this seem unwilling to put a solid effort into anything that hasn't hogtied them with a lasso made of petrodollars, I've started recapping whatever races I can get my hands on in the quickest and most internet way possible, by which of course I am referring to GIFs. There is a URL that you can find them at right here. And yeah, I know it's GIF, but unlike all the other words I massacre on this show, this is one I just don't care about. The women's peloton, sensibly, seems to have only one event at the moment, the echelon-friendly and Giant Shimano-dominated Tour of Qatar. Despite being an absolute monarchy, Qatar is actually fairly progressive among Gulf states. Women are allowed to vote and hold office and do national multi-day bike races, unlike, say, France. What's that? You read that there's a women's Tour de France now? Well, you probably heard about it in the mainstream press, and that's a pretty safe bet that they screwed it up. This will probably be a recurring theme, but from an objective standpoint, the Tour de France sucks. I mean, yes, it's an amazing spectacle. Yes, everyone goes balls out trying to do their best. Maybe not the best phrasing here, but the tour is massively expensive, it's confusing, and a vast majority of the time, a bit dull. Asking for a women's Tour de France is kind of like asking for a women's Spruce Goose. Yes, it's enormous and it got a lot of headlines, but let's iron out the defects before we decide to put it into mass production. And honestly, the course doesn't feel like a strong step for women's cycling. Responding to calls for a 3-week tour with an hour of racing on a day that the men use for lighting cigars and drinking champagne doesn't exactly set a strong parallel for the women trying to compete in it. However, another ASO property would make a perfect choice to reinforce the legitimacy of the female peloton. Paris-Roubaix. It's one day, the first person across the finish line wins, all the interesting bits come in the final 100 kilometers, and once you get a whiff of Arnberg, the tedium is over. Plus, there's already a cyclosportif the day before the men's Roubaix. Bump the ham and eggers back to Friday, and you've got a captive audience of thousands from around the world, in hotels, along an already staked out course, waiting to cheer on the women as they conquer the guttiest, toughest, most blisteringly photogenic race that the men's sport has to offer, which is precisely why the ASO will never, ever allow this to happen. I'm Cosmo Catalano, and that was the week in bike.